And it says stop streaming. I've hit the go live button like 18 times. Are we live now? Maybe. Maybe now.
I just got the notifications.
Yeah, are we in here? Can I play my theme music? This is one of those days where I don't want to.
There we go. Now we just started.
Yay! My camera's been beat to shit. And I'm live streaming to nobody but the YOU. Let's get it. Yo, talking shit, getting clicks, we episodes. I am Mo 3 times. We are in the building. This is what my camera looks like. This is me. Just to let you know that I'm here, but I'm gonna bunk out because I don't even like the look of this. I don't like the look of this, but I love you guys, and I'm here talking shit, getting clicks. And let's get into the show. Listen. They had a MAGA rally in Madison Square Garden. Some guy got clipped by his neighbor in Minneapolis. And then we're counting the days. We are less than a week. And already ballot boxes are going boom, being lit on fire, all in the Pacific Northwest. And why do they got my man Dwyane Wade looking crazy? Why? Let the children say. And we're going to talk about the MAGA Madness. Here, all of this and more, talking shit, getting clicks, we episodes with yours truly, Mo 3 times. Let me sing. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing something here. Yo, I'm sweating, and it's late October, and I got the sweats. I was seeing if I can go live over, but obviously that's not working. You know? Whatever. This is a time where I'm like, oh man, let's not even let this like finish or do anything like that. And then I just sit back. All right, children singing. Oh, I can't help. I don't want to stay away. It works a little bit. I have no idea. It's got to be a lighting issue. I was all good just a week ago. What's good, everybody? Hey, welcome back. I appreciate everybody for being here with me this evening. Like I said before, we are a week away, less than a week away from the 2024 presidential election, as well as all the other elections that are going around in your neck of the woods. And it's amazing. I just had like a nice little message for everybody. But as I read this message, please just chat through the show. Just check through my show listings, because this is what we're going to be getting into this evening. If you're out there, please throw me a like, share, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. A lot of goes into this, and really the only thing I need is a little like out there. It's up to you, totally up to you. No pressure. Hit like now. That's Mo 3 times. It's whatever. Listen. I wanted to reach out because I've noticed that you sometimes admire how certain people get away with things in our society. I get it. It can feel frustrating to watch the world get away with things in our society. And I know you watch the world and feel that the fairness isn't always a priority. And I understand that it's easy to admire those who seem smart enough to beat the system. But I thought, it's just a thought, just a small thought, that I'd share a few thoughts that might offer a different perspective on the consequences of these actions. Firstly, I think we can both agree that fairness and justice should be central values for our country. When people use their ingenuity to outsmart laws or deceive others, it can often come at the expense of the everyday people who end up paying the price. For example, scams and fraud might seem harmless, but they can leave innocent victims hurt or devastated and or financially insecure or ruined. I mean, real people, often families and retirees, face life-changing losses due to the deception of those who play the system. I completely understand the appeal of cleverness. I certainly do. I mean, America was built on innovation and ingenuity, and these are the traits that drive progress. But maybe we can challenge ourselves and our communities to support people who channel that ingenuity constructively. I mean, to actually fix the systems that are broken. I think if we focus on ethical achievements, we can turn our frustration into real change, all while keeping our values of fairness and justice intact. It's a difficult balance, but I believe we can support real, honest change by uplifting those who push for fairness without hurting others. I want you to imagine a country where being smart means finding ways to protect and elevate each other rather than leaving our neighbors at risk. That's the kind of change I think we both would love to see. I appreciate each and every all of you guys for considering that perspective and for always being people who open and who remain open to thoughtful conversation. I look forward to hearing what you think about that. That's just my little opening for today. We got a call-in live now, and what you're seeing scrolling down that call-in live now is a hefty, mighty list. And you go ahead and you take your time and you look through that list. This is all the fucked up things. Excuse my language. Winnie Boo says she doesn't like when I curse. I know. I'm sorry. These are all the things that Donald Trump did. Just a few. Not everything's in there, but it's a pretty robust list. So you just look through this nice little scroller. Let me know. Can you see it on your screen clearly enough? Can you read it? Good. Because I wanted everybody to be able to just read this. You know what? I was watching some podcasts yesterday, like a couple of different podcasts yesterday, and I heard a central theme of like a lot of people that are frustrated with politics and are, as a result, are leaning towards voting for President Trump or supporting him at least. And the big thing was like, oh, we know all the things that he's done, and there hasn't been what's the word they use? There hasn't been a damn moment, like a moment like, damn, I don't want to vote for him, or oh, damn, this is over. And that's really weird to me because it wasn't like that just a decade ago. Politics wasn't like that. I remember Mitt Romney walked into a breakfast fundraiser with his core base in attendance, and it was getting towards the end of the race between him and Obama, and he made a what people would just say, look, he made an honest statement, and he said, listen, there are almost 40 million people in here. No matter what I say or do, they're just not going to vote for me. And the media took that and ran with it. And I remember people being upset with, like, because he was talking about, basically the Democratic base that wasn't going to vote for him. And people got upset with that. And I was like, well, he just said his truth. It's whatever. And that was his truth. And just for saying that, lost them mad points in that election. That's what they call it, an October surprise. That was an October surprise for Mitt Romney in a close race between Obama. That helped seal the deal. This list that's scrolling in front of your eyes right now are things that this man has said, things that this man has done, and I don't know, as one's passing my eye, say lied nearly 40,000 times. I mean, that's cool. If there's not a damn moment in any of these things that are going through this list, these fact-check-based items that are going on this list, if there's not one thing that make you say damn, then cool. We can't have this conversation. I can't talk to, you can't reason with people like that. I was talking to Love yesterday. I was like, yo, Love, because she gets passionate about it. She gets real passionate about it. And I was like, yo, like me too. Like, it's easy to get frustrated when people are like saying things and they don't make sense and whatnot. Like, it can be easily frustrating, but we can't do that because you just got to have a little grace and patience with these people. You know, they're our fellow citizens. They're our brothers and our sisters and our aunts and uncles. And, you know, there are loved ones out there, even if they're not in, like, I'm not even talking about family, like the buddy down the street, they're part of our community. Like, we're all part of this country. And this is the times where we usually are in the biggest disagreements. But luckily, like I said again, we are less than a week out. So soon there should be a decision. Now, hopefully, whatever decision is made, however the people have voted, however those votes are counted, it's accepted, it's qualified, and we can move on with our lives from there. I would also think that if a certain person doesn't win, that he's not going out gracefully. He isn't. He's not. Yeah. If Donald Trump loses, it's going to be doom and effing gloom. Why are you cheering, children?
I can't control it.
I know.
Okay?
I got to hit that button. I see the orange button. I hit it. It's going to be doom and gloom. They're not going to let it go that easy. But that's no reason to not go out there and vote. No matter who you're going to vote for. I'll be diplomatic here. No matter who you're going to go and vote for, please do go out there and exercise your civic responsibility. Love, when do we vote? November 5th, which is a Tuesday, National Election Day. It is a federal law, a requirement that you have enough time from your job to go vote. Now, if you want to game the system a little bit, what I would do is you can go to some early voting and go straight to the polls right now for most people out there. You can go to the polls already and get it over with. And then when that Tuesday comes, you take that little 2 extra hours they're going to give to you on the house, and you go do something. Get yourself an ice cream cone. If you're African American, get yourself butter pecan. Don't get vanilla. I think you know why. A lot of you don't. But they're trying to get rid of CRT. I don't want that. So please go vote. I know they said, yeah, whatever. There I am again. Oh my God, there I am. I am still here.
So you can see
I want people to know. I'm going to throw the chat up right now. That's the click, like, share, and subscribe button. Y'all do that while I do this. And here we go. Got the chat going. I think the chat's going. Where am I here? All right, we got excellent connection.
Charisse in the chat, Remy.
Family.
I don't know who shows one side Mercer.
Yep, you. Horns for everybody. You know I gotta give a shout out to Kato. What's good? She gets a no. She can't. But
many people know him as
the Jump Out gang is here. Ramid is here. Ramid, what's up with your Jets? Cuzzo's up in there. Charisse. Let me know how you guys feel about this. I don't know. I gotta go back and, because I promised you I'm gonna keep this thing. Where's my, that's not it. That's my camera. We're getting rid of that too. Bam. All right, there we go. There it is. There it is. There it is. Just keep it scrolling. Keep it scrolling. Last week, we're going to be up, and then from there on out, we get to talk about some other things on the We episodes. There's always probably going to be something political going on. Definitely something political going on, but we'll talk about that. But we get to get away from all this craziness and this ignorance. Yo, if y'all had any election campaign angst or anything crazy going in, do me a favor and give me a call. Give me a call, shoot the breeze with me. Tell me how your voting experience is going. If you want to talk about your favorite candidate, please tell me. If you got a local candidate, if somebody's doing something cool out there in the political land in your community, let me know. 313-825-5557. I know that we are spread out all along this country, this great country. Purple Hills, Mount Majesties, all that good shit. So yeah, give me a call and then we can talk about it. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes. I start playing and then I can't stop. Yo, this crazy. Listen, I got this. It says love thy neighbor. This Minneapolis man was shot by his neighbor. The craziest thing. In this picture, this man, his name is Davis Motori. And the shooting, he was shot by his neighbor. His neighbor is John Salchak. I have him on the little show. The show button here. Right, that's not him. Here's my slow shot. I can skip to it. There we go. See, that's John Salchak right there, bottom right-hand corner of the screen. If you see him right here in the screen, this is where he was shot down right here in his front yard. You see him on the ground right here. That's Davis Motori. He's obviously in this picture. He's in a hospital. He's got a little line hooked up to him. But yeah, so check this out. This was like a year. Davis Motori has spent the last year reporting harassment and threats from his neighbor, John Salchak. All right? He's a black man, obviously, and he had moved into his home in September of 2023. It's now October 2024. So, yeah, a year. And soon after, he and his wife began facing racial slurs and intimidation from Salchak, who lives in a second-floor apartment next door. Now, their property line was the particular tree that you see that's cut there in the picture, right? So, basically what happened was it was the source of the conflict. Salchak reportedly threatened Motori on numerous occasions, including saying, "Touch my tree again and I'll kill you." I don't know if that's his voice, but I'll do it. "Touch my tree again and I'll kill you." In addition to verbal threats, Salchak allegedly threw objects, displayed knives, and even pointed a gun at Motori in recent weeks before this incident. This prompted the family to report over 19 incidents to the police during this period. Now, despite repeated complaints, the Minneapolis Police Department, the MPD, did not initially arrest Salchak after the shooting. Police Chief Brian O'Hara explained that Salchak's reclusive behavior and mental health concerns, along with a need for officer safety, delayed their response. However, this approach drew significant public criticism, especially from the warnings from the Minneapolis City Council. They questioned why the MPD hadn't acted sooner, given the numerous warnings, and the delay sparked broader discussion on law enforcement's response to harassment and its hesitancy in cases involving mental health and potential violence. And this story came to me from like a black poster who was basically just like, yo, this happened. This man was shot, I believe, on the 23rd. They didn't arrest him until, the 28th? Today's the 30th. I was reading it yesterday, the 29th. They did it like the morning of the 28th, like at 1 o'clock in the morning. One of the craziest things that I've witnessed. Let's get a little bit of, and obviously, my question was like, yo, what does his wife look like? What does his wife look like? What does his wife look like? That's his wife right here. Her name's Carolyn Welch Motori, and she's a physical therapist. This is him. This is her and him. I believe this is the same picture. This is her. But this is a picture of them. It's kind of small. It's like a 128 by 128, which is like a little... They must have shot that with an Android, but like a 2006 Android. But yeah, this is him and his babes. You already saw what Salchak looks like. There might have been a little... He might have been hating on the bunnies, the jungle fevers. I don't know why... Bunnies. That's right. I've been hearing so much racial shit on social media for the last month, and specifically dealing with this election. Thank God it's going to be over in the next week. It's not over, but at least we'll have a break. Thank God. What's up?
The phone line on?
The phone line is up.
Frank is trying to go in.
Oh, hold on. I got you. I try and get online. Didn't get online. And yeah, we're definitely talking about I know what Frank's calling in for. And Frank, let me tell you what. If you're out there, I got you. I got you. I got you right now. I'm going to open up these phone lines. I'll be telling y'all to call in, but really, honestly, I don't even have the phone lines open. That's what we're going with right now. I just hung up. All right, hold on. Let's do it now. Everything's messed up today.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
Yeah.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
Yo, you know what? Honestly, I know what this lady is. She likes it. She loves it.
Welcome.
When you hear the
host.
English lady, it's
You
about
have
to
not
be on and
started a
popping.
show session in Callan Studio and cannot yet receive calls
I know.
on Talk and Shit Get and Click.
That's a lie.
Please visit.
Tell them.
Welcome.
Tell them, tell them the truth.
You
Let the
are now
children
in the host room and can manage your callers from the
sing.
Callan Studio web interface.
Yo, Frankie D
Audio
specifically
recording
calling
is
for me right
on.
now. Calling for me right now. Yep, but Davis Mattori and John Salchak have been going for. Yo, we're gonna set Frank up, but let's get it here. Now, the police chief also acknowledged and said that, hey, like, we did a disservice to Davis Mattori. Like, he needed our help and we weren't there to help him. I'm sure. He said it failed the victim. He said the department failed victim that was shot by his neighbor. So, I mean, at least he came out and said the right thing. He's not trying to cover it up.
Minneapolis admitted that his department failed to protect a man who long feared for his safety. That man is now hospitalized after he was allegedly shot by his neighbor.
Laura Aguirre tells us there's now a public outcry that officers should have done something sooner. And we want to warn you, some video in this story is disturbing.
Try it again then, tough guy.
Stay away.
Minneapolis resident Davis Mattori has taken many videos like this of his neighbor John Salchak since late 2023. He's called police at least 19 times, detailing threats and harassment, according to local news affiliate CARE. Last week, police say that escalated to gunfire.
The bullet went down through my neck and then all the way back to my spine.
We failed this victim 100%.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says his department had been trying to arrest Salchak for at least 6 months and had been surveilling him 24/7 since warrants were issued for last Wednesday's shooting of Mattori, adding that Salchak has known mental health issues, was likely armed, and that the police department is severely understaffed.
We have been trying to get this person into custody safely, which would mean getting him outside of the house when he is not near guns or any other weapon.
Sunday evening, police stopped waiting. CARE reports that a SWAT team and Special Tactics unit used a battering ram to break out windows of Salchak's home after several hours of negotiations failed. Salchak finally surrendered in the early hours Monday and was taken into custody. CARE says he faces several charges, including attempted murder, stalking, and harassment, an outcome after a cautious approach that Mattori says should have come much sooner.
You have this body armor, you have professional training. If you're saying you're scared, what does that do to me?
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Yep. You heard Laura Aguirre reporting. Don't look at me like that. I can't speak. All right. So, yeah, that was the story. You see a whole entire year of trying to report and do the right thing, and he ends up getting shot. And, I mean, listen, it looks like he was doing more than pruning that tree. He's cutting that shit down. But honestly, me looking at this story just from my vantage point, I don't think that the tree had anything to do with the beef. I think the tree was just a symbol of him just putting down his superiority. Like, yo, you're not going to touch this tree. If you touch this tree, then it's going to be on and popping. So John Salchak just really needed a reason. To me, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm just going to quarterback this. from my detective's chair right now, but it looked like when Davis Mattori moved in, John Salchak already had a problem with him because of, I don't know, his skin tone. And then when Davis Mattori popped out with his wife, with Caroline, boom, right here. Hold on, I'll take the cursor because I don't want everybody in like that's not Caroline. This is up here, right here. He popped up with her. It was over. It was a wrap. John Salchak probably damn near lost his mind. He knew what he was going to do. And like, honestly, I did not hear in that report that this was going to be charged as a hate crime. If you guys heard that, please let me know. But I did not hear that this shit should definitely be charged as a hate crime. And then the fact that it took him damn near a week after the man was shot in the hospital to actually go and get John Salchak out of there is reprehensible. That's just my opinion on there. Let me know, because this is our show. You call in 313-825-5557. Letting children sing right now. Also, if you see those things scrolling right there, that text that's scrolling is just a list of the bullpucky that Donald Trump committed during his time in the American public eye. Yep, he took Vladimir Putin's word over the U.S. intelligence community. Hey, did you guys know that him and Vladimir Putin actually have like a secret phone? Like back in the day, you and your friend get a walkie-talkie, you get a walkie-talkie, we're best friends. Like he has a phone, and they call each other on the low. I hope Donald Trump erased them snaps, because I'm sure it doesn't matter. Putin took snapshots of that anyway. Sure did. But hey, I mean, New York City, we go to New York City. We go to Madison Square Garden, and now we're talking about people getting called people got called Nazis. Love, I looked into this because I was like, first of all, even when warranted, we just don't throw that around. We don't just throw the word Nazi and we don't heap that on the people. Now, I know lately it's been a thing where we just throw everybody's a Nazi. We draw little Hitler mustaches on everybody's picture and put it up on a placard to go protest or whatever the hell we do out here as Americans. But they called this man a Nazi, and I was like, damn, it's about time. Like, they've been, the Democratic Party has been so nice, and it's awesome. It's like an Elmer Fudd Bugs Bunny thing where he's trying to shoot Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny just keeps like kissing him or whatever, and it's kind of weird, but we don't want no more kissing. We kind of want him to, not the part where he's kissing, you know, when he puts the shotgun down into the rabbit hole, and then Bugs Bunny pops up on the other side and grabs the end and twists the barrel towards him to let him shoot. That's the mode that we need to be in. Not the kissing, popping out the hole, kissing him on his mouth. Turn his gun back on him. Now, honestly, I'm trying to keep everything nonviolent because it's starting to get wicked out there in these streets right now. People are taking this for real. And we're not even talking about, I don't know, the assassination attempts that we probably should still be reporting on right now that have died. I don't understand how this is. I just know that I think all of us that are here right now may enjoy our regular medias, our CNNs, MSNBCs, Fox Newses, but we also know that there's out there that they're not reporting. And a lot of people are relying on independent media. And a lot of independent media out there aren't journalists. They didn't go to school for it. They didn't take their little journalistic oath or anything like that. They don't have peers that are going to look down on them if they report some BS or anything like that. So you can just hop on this mic. You can pop your camera on if your camera's working. God bless you. But if it's not, you can still throw your mic on, hop on YouTube, and spread lies. And misinformation. Oh, man, and the misinformation has been huge in these last 2 national election cycles. Honestly.
I can't control it.
I can't control it. And I think that's the reason why we have gone on this. Like, this is the reason why, listen, people were like, do your show, you do good shows, you talk about that case, we like your insights here, we like when you talk about this, and every now and then I would throw a little political stuff in there because, honestly, I've always, been into politics. I like to know what's going on in my country and find out dig a little deeper than, the average Joe out there. It's always just been something fun for me to do. And I know politics is not fun for a lot of people, but it's fun for me. So let me do it and I'm going to have fun with it. I say all that to say this. The reason why I am doing politics so much, even against my best judgment, is because of all of the misinformation that I see day after day after day. Now, I expect certain groups, certain sects, S-E-C-T-S, not S-E, you know what I'm saying, like out there, and they are just throwing out a whole big, massive ball of and that does something to me. And I got a God-given talent of good Googling and good searching, and I go past page 1, 2, and 3. I will go down to page 16. I will scramble. I'll throw an asterisk in these searches. I will search times. I will search on top of searches just to see what's going on, man, out there. And I know a lot of people don't do that. I know a lot of people rely on TikToks and YouTube Reels and stuff like that. I know. I when I hear information being repeated, damn near verbatim, and talking points being, it just does something to me. But don't fret. We don't get angry. We get determined. That's what we would do. We don't get angry. We're not out there to even the score. We just get determined to do the work better. To be a little bit more patient with those who may or may not already know what the hell's going on here. I know. Still waiting for Frank to call in here. What's going on here?
I don't know. It's all
All right. When he calls in, he'll call in, but it doesn't matter because if he calls in within the next, we're going to be on theme tonight. We're going to be on the theme. We talked about the Minneapolis man. Let me go back over to the chats. Yeah, that's Carolyn Montour. Man, they were just trying to live their life. Where's my Kamala list?
Cat said, "Where's the
Kamala list?" No, you know what? I'm not even doing that. I'm not even gonna try to give you an air of I've made my choice here. I've made my choice. This is my choice. I've been nice and I've done, hey, this is what the things that Kamala has done and these are the things that Trump has done and I've been on that. I've been on that type of stuff. You've seen it. You guys have seen me do it and be fair. But you know what? Those guys over there aren't fair. I watched some of those speeches that were going on in New York and they were total BS. Oh my God. Tucker Carlson said some shit about the reason why they love us is because we tell the truth, and it's hard to tell the truth. And and he was talking about the Democrats. He's like, they want to make you a slave, and they'll make you lie. And I know people that have gone in jail for deciding to tell the truth and stand up. But yo, bro, over and over again, we fact check and find that, yo, it's not even a fact check. It's not even like you're off by a couple of numbers or a decimal pointer here. It's that you're Don't curse. Is that you're bold-faced lying. And this is the thing is, because I'm not going to lie. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid. I might be a little slow sometimes, but I'm not dumb. But what I've realized during this election is that there are a lot of effing idiots out there. They're just stupid. When Hillary Clinton said deplorable, I was like, oh, man, Hillary. But I understand where Hillary was coming back because that's the level of frustration that I have reached with this election cycle. These MFs are effing deplorable. I mean, I don't think you can rehab them either. I just wash my hands of it. When I hear it, I just laugh and I chuckle and I'm like, you're dumb. That's what I do. And I don't want to come from like this elite position of I know this and I know that. But when you're the stuff that I've heard repeated, that if you just go to any regular source of news and not your own right-filled bubble, if you just go to a normal source of news, you'll get the truth. But these people don't want the truth. They want to be right, I think. They want to be right. And that's one of the things I did do. I went and I was researching, like, what is the psychology of some of these people that are going to vote Trump? Love's in here. Love. I went out for I went and walked Django this morning. Before my appointment this morning, I had a little time. I went out and walked Django. And as I'm walking through my neighborhood, I live in a rural type of neighborhood. It's a mixed neighborhood where I can count the black people in it. I don't say all that. I say all this to say this. When I walk past these houses, I look and I can see, all right, this guy has a huge American flag up there. I don't think that the Republicans or MAGA people have a monopoly on the American flag. I know that me in front of my house, I did tell, like, we're going to put our flag up too. But but still, 7 of 10, I would say that if they got a big American flag up at their house, they're probably going to vote for Trump. A lot of other them had just straight Trump. Vance, that's right. That's his running mate, JD Vance. Trump and Vance, big ass Trump, like banners, right? That's what I saw. But luckily, if I'm on a street and their street has 25 houses on a block, both sides, 25 houses, I'm looking at maybe 6 houses that are Trump. Now, something that I do see is I don't see much Harris Walls paraphernalia out in anybody's front yards. I see it, but what I do see is just signs for the local Democrats here. And I see a lot of those. So even in my area where they say blah, blah, blah county is MAGA county, I have to certainly disagree. Like, it really isn't. And another thing that I noticed is that the people who are voting for Trump more than all of them are specifically voting for Trump. They're not talking about, the local politicians that are running this time. They are just straight up Trump. That's what it was. So, when I see people that say that, he's smart and he's clever and I like his mindset and he's good because he was able to jerk the system over and he doesn't pay taxes because he's smart enough to not pay taxes and he finds these loopholes and stuff like that because he's so great and clever. I understand that. I understand that. But that was just like what is the psychological assessment of someone who applauds criminals? And I would think that applauding criminals or viewing crime as smart, I think that would reflect a mindset that values cleverness or beating the system. Right? Could we all agree on that? Maybe I should turn this down just a little bit. We could all maybe agree on that. I think the outlook, it can stem from maybe a lot of different psychological factors, like distrusting traditional institutions. How about that? Do we all trust these traditional institutions that we grew up in? How about cynicism towards fairness? Or how about admiration for perceived skills in evasion or manipulation? Like, people with this perspective might believe that systems are inherently flawed or exploitative. I think that could lead them to view rule breaking as a justifiable or even laudable form of empowerment. We got to get deep here. All right? How about we look into this cynicism and distrust? Just a little bit. Because often people who admire criminals may harbor deep-rooted distrust or resentment towards institutions, governments, corporations, etc. They see this as oppressive or unjust, and this cynicism might make them believe that since everyone's playing dirty, so should other individuals. How about the empowerment through outsmarting? Like, some might view criminals as resourceful underdogs who overcome societal constraints. Then the appeal lies with that ingenuity I was talking about earlier, or the boldness that requires to beat the system rather than the ethical concerns about the harm that's caused from it. Or perhaps these people like moral flexibility. That's 3. That's the 3rd one. And I think they can just admire someone, and they could also reflect maybe a utilitarian or an outcome-oriented morality. Such as last night I heard he might have been bankrupt in business. He might have bankrupt businesses, and he might not be as smart but he's still president. It doesn't matter. what he did to do it, because it just seems like you can overlook it because the end seems to justify the means. I really thought about that. I had to think about this. Or maybe it's the desensitization. I mean, some feel detached or desensitized from the impact of crime, especially if they don't directly see its victims. I can understand a lack of empathy for people harmed, focusing instead on the perceived cleverness of the crime that harmed the person. Or just, maybe it's just like I said earlier, maybe it's the influence of media and culture. I think media has glamorized, and I think we've been glamorizing these quote-unquote anti-heroes. You know, the bad guys can contribute to this mindset. And some narratives create, you know, rule breakers. They're charismatic or they're admirable figures who get ahead through their cunning. So I think what we can do is, instead of getting frustrated and yelling at these people, you know, sit down and just challenge them. Challenge their assumptions on fairness. You know, ask them instead of, you know, condemning them. You know, ask them why they see these criminals as smart or admirable. Yeah, for all you guys out there that think Trump is smart and admirable, call in, let me know why. 313-825-5557. I think you should tell them also to explore these ethical consequences. I mean, you need to emphasize harm caused to innocent people, as they may not have fully considered this perspective. So when someone goes on stage and says, I ended Roe versus Wade 50 years, I'm the one who did it, I think you have to marry that. Hold on. I can't. Like, I think you have to marry that sentiment to actual outcomes from that decision-making process, such as women literally dying in the parking lot of emergency rooms because doctors are too afraid to perform life-saving surgery on them, or they would lose their license or end up in jail because of Roe versus Wade has ended, you know? Yeah, the consequences. Or acknowledge the appeal of outsmarting. I think you can validate the idea that being resourceful is a positive quality. But you can also suggest that it can be applied constructively. For example, discuss how people can channel cleverness and ingenuity into pursuits that benefit others without causing harm, positioning ethical achievements as another way to beat the system. Or we could go into a discussion about, you know, crime-admiring societies. Perhaps help them imagine the broader implications of widespread rule breaking. You know, if everyone acted on this belief, society could become chaotic or unsafe or corrupt, affecting even the people that they care about. You got to point out the personal impact, help them rethink the appeal of getting away with it, and just highlight alternatives. Offer examples of people who have succeeded by challenging or working within the system to make positive change rather than breaking the law. Show examples of innovative thinkers or activists who outsmart through ethical means, and inspire them and reframe it that way. I don't think number 5 is going to work, but we can also discuss the consequences of admiring crime. Right. Oh, a politician wants. I stopped because I was reading these. I'm reading these comments. Help me out with these comments, Love.
Because you keep talking, I know. Want to interrupt you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're talking about the system now. That's all. We're talking about the system. I hope you guys are like looking at this list that's going by that I'm keeping up for you. You know, when you tear gas peaceful protesters on Lafayette Square so you could hold a photo op, you know, of a Bible upside down in front of a church. I mean, by all means. Yeah, and got impeached twice. 40,000 times. Lies. But that's what we got there. So, listen, there's some people that I think this is the one that hits the most, though. Like, what has happened is there is a loss of trust in our government institutions. That is one of the things that gets people overturned by dictators. That's one of the main things. Like it's frustrating because I see history and people call people fascists or Nazis just out of their butt just to do it. And we've heard it so much. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, but somebody calls out and calls this person a fascist and a Nazi, and then they go ahead and they say, hey, he said this. This was said exactly the same way by this Nazi general. Enemy within. Goebbels. You know? But, hey. Or we use, what is it? You got to be the American first. I remember there was a Germany first campaign after World War I. Yeah, Germany first. Somebody ran on, I can't remember his name. I think it was Adolf something. Adolf, he had a funny mustache. Germany first, he ran on that. Man, sounds just like America first. Huh. I don't know. Anyway. Any good comments? Anything cross your...
That's it. You lost Frank. I'm not sure what that means.
Okay. LOL. Is that all? Or can we scroll up? What are you doing? You scroll? Oh my God. She's doing something else. All right. So I say all that to say this. Listen, Jaguar Wright calls out Diddy for signing her to the label C. And he says Diddy assaulted her. I'm just reading that off the paper. But yeah, that's what we got. Some people are don't want to be played with because of the Democratic Party and all that stuff. Whatever. We got less than a week left. You know what? This whole election, you know what hurts the most, really? Not just Trump supporters. It's weird. Like, I can understand, like, if you like it's so weird. Usually it's a couple of key issues that separate people, maybe financially or social issues. But it seems like this specific, like this is his third time running for president. This is Donald Trump's third time running for president.
Your call line is closed?
No, my call line's open. See?
That's that it was closed.
My call line's open. You want me to try again? We can't complete your call. Then, look, I just hung up. I'm calling again. I'm calling back in again.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios
And I got
host
money.
and call screener
Frank
line.
was trying to call and it wasn't on.
Enter your
That's why he said
six-digit
you
PIN
lost
number.
because- You lost them because I guess the call line saying is not on.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Oh, I'm in
Audio
here.
recording is on.
Yeah, again. Here we go. Talking shit, getting clicks.
This is not a banger. This is not a banger. And I know bangers. I know bangers. Nah, my guy.
Oh my God. If I hear another, she was in charge of the border. Like, I heard an argument, like, but he was like, she was in charge of the border. And a guy fact checked him real quick, and he was nice about it. He was like, no, we've heard that information as well, but she wasn't in charge of the border. She's not the border czar. She was like emissary to some countries that were surrounding the border to figure out what's going on. So maybe like they could fix issues in their actual country so they could stay, you know, in their country instead of having to come across the border. And he explained it, and the guy was just like, no, she was the border czar. Like, how do you talk? How do you get through to people like that? How do you get through to people like that? That you give them the information they wanted. I tell you what, you don't. You stop talking to them. You can't talk to them. Don't rack your brain on it. Don't argue in comment section. It's waste. It's a waste. Some of these people are just trolling. Some of these people just want to see you sweat and get upset. That's what it is. They want to be provocateurs and just cause issues and collect liberal libtard tears. That's what they want to do. Seriously. That's what they want to do. Get you in your emotions and have you. It's not useful.
First of all,
It's not worth it. It's not worth wasting your energy on that type of stuff. But like when it comes out, like I totally understand the frustration when you're just talking to people and you know that, yo, like, okay, it's not a Bill Clinton, George Bush. It's not, it's not a the last 3 elections haven't been normal elections. They haven't been normal campaigns, and I understand that how it's attractive to some people. And I think a lot of the people that it attracted were totally not even involved with the political system. And that's why I said in our Mo Love Love show that I equate Donald Trump to Happy Gilmore. Like, he's Happy Gilmore. Like, Happy Gilmore was an ex-hockey player who really couldn't skate and was always like fighting in hockey, and found that he did have a talent to hit the long ball. And it worked for golf. It worked for a part of the game of golf, because you also got a putt, you got a chip game, your sand wedge game. But he could drive the ball. And people were impressed with that. And Happy Gilmore came into golf, and he all the status quo upset the status quo. He certainly did. And he bought a new, different type of fan. He bought someone who had never even thought about looking at golf, but because it was Happy Gilmore, somebody that was like them, they were somebody who was like them. Not somebody to pretend to be like people, but somebody that was actually like them. They came, even though this is a effing fictional movie, they came out to watch him. So you got people who don't know the rules of golf, don't know the decorum of being at a golf club, watching golf. They're out there cheering for Happy, wearing fucking beer hats and having sex in the woods. And that's Donald Trump. Donald Trump bust on the scene and bought a lot of people with him. And the Republicans were like, this is great. This is great. He brought all these people to us. We're going to mess with him, and then we're going to take his people, and we'll get rid of him. But that didn't happen. It didn't work. It didn't work for the Republicans. And then he became president. And some people just wanted to thumb their nose at the status quo. Life wasn't working for some people. It wasn't working out the way. They forgot to fill out that paperwork. It's the government's fault. F the government. This guy's F the government, so we're rolling with him. Like, I do try to think about the psychology behind it, because it's kind of like a nice, cool thing to waste time with. Like, when I'm waiting, I'll be thinking, like, why else could somebody be a Donald Trump, like, fanatic? Because they're not normal. They're, like, not normal, like... They're like Cowboys fans. I don't want to diss anybody as a Cowboys fan in here, but you guys know how you are. If you're a Cowboys fan, everybody knows you're a Cowboys fan. You got that little thing, the head seat rest covers on your car. You got a star somewhere. You got a flag somewhere. You got a big-ass flag in front of your house. That's how they roll. Phone lines is open, 313-825-5557. Gonna talk about some voting. That's what we're gonna talk about, some voting. While we do that, I guess I can say that. Earlier this week, the MAGA folks took over Madison Square Garden in New York City. They filled the arena, and they had a whole different lot of speakers and some people that were a little controversial over there. They might have lost some votes too. But nobody's really talking about Melania Trump's speech. Let's look at it.
Evening, New York City.
I gotta rewind that because she kills it.
Good evening, New York City.
Oh, she needed some Beyonce juice before she started talking.
Good evening, New York City.
All right, one more time. I'm gonna run it back.
Good evening, New York City.
New York City. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Hold on. I'm sitting. First of all, I'm sitting next to Love Love, who is offended by everything. She knows I'm offended by this accent, but the way she says Madison Square Garden, like.
Hey, we have accents. Relax.
But she's not Dominican.
So,
Hello, Madison Square Garden. Our hometown. Where are he?
That's not your hometown. That's not your hometown, Melania. It's not. New York City's not your hometown. You don't sound like a New Yorker. You sound different. You sound different. You sound different.
Pectoral symbols of strength, courage, and unity create a canvas for the world's undisputed capital of industry.
Yo, you see, she's reading that hard. She's reading it hard.
Well, they're from New York, so.
First of all, Melania Trump looks great. I'm not gonna lie. I love that blouse. I like her new cheekbones. Shits are popping.
She takes care of herself.
She does take care of herself. And the way, oh my God. This is another thing. Melania Trump, we don't ever see her. She's never taking the pictures, hugged up with her husband. We have seen so many videos and pictures of her hopping off the plane with him, knocking his hand away, rolling her eyes at him. Evelyn, she treats Donald like you treated me in year 3. Remember year 3? Right? She treats like year 3 perpetually. Yo, but honestly, like all jokes aside,
Where titans.
like where and what other candidate could their wife be smacking her hand, showing straight disdain? And what's the word? It starts with a C. Contempt. Contempt for their husband, and and y'all act like it don't happen. Y'all act like it don't. Even when Bill and Hillary was going through it, you know what I'm saying, with dresses and stuff, and you know she'd be laughing at Bill. You could see her roll her eyes at Bill, like tell, like there was still some love. Like whatever they got going on, that's between Bill and Hillary. That's what, like, you could tell there wasn't a contempt for him. She might have been like, oh, he's stupid. He's blowing our chances for the White House. But there was never any contempt. I'm going to say Melania Trump received the check to come to NYC and do this little speech. Would you agree with that? That she got paid straight cash?
This is the first time
she doesn't want a car. She doesn't want a vacation. She doesn't want another house. Like, just give her the cash. She got cash to go do this.
You think she got cash money? I don't know.
She got cash money. Yeah, she got a transfer. She got a wire transfer, definitely. I would have been like maybe a silver in one of those throwback Miami Vice silver briefcases to get her up there to speak. I'm not even going to go really more into Melania Trump because we already know she still speeches anyway. Oh, let me tell you what. I don't even want to go all the way into Rudy Giuliani, who was all up there. But, yo, my young mind, listen to me. Hear me out when I play this. Because I'm young and I'm not going to lie. I'll be immature sometimes. Listen to this fool.
And this is the most iconic venue of venues in the United States. This is where a Republican's not supposed to come, which is why Donald Trump came here.
Well, she doesn't do it herself. They give her people to read.
There's no place in America the president shouldn't be able to come.
Yo, there is no place in the United States of America that a United States president shouldn't be able to come. I know, that was greasy, but he said it in the way he said it.
There's no place in America the president shouldn't be able to come.
Oh my God, he said that. He ain't say pause afterwards. That's a faux pas where I'm from. Especially in New York, he ain't say no Diddy.
No Diddy, nothing.
Nothing? Insane. Insanity. Then we had Tucker Carlson. Hold on. I made a Tucker Carlson button. Listen to it. You're about to hear it and you're going to... All right, so I don't even know what even to say, but he was just all over the place, but...
That's totally normal. Liz Cheney's out there with Kamala Harris. And there's Bobby Kennedy calling to protect women's sports at a Trump rally.
Yeah, why do you think that women's sports is such a big thing and talking about transgenders, which is like very rare? I think, like, I see more instances of white blonde. Hold on.
Bleached blonde, bad built, butch body.
Teachers molesting their students. Then I see stories about dudes facing off with girls, acting like girls in sports. Like, like, why is that their number one issue? Why is that their number one issue? Why would that be a presidential issue? Why would that? Wouldn't that be like the states or the sporting body govern that? Like,
because a lot of Republicans are conservatives and they're Christians and they don't believe.
But we know they're not. They're Christians, but they're not Christians.
Obviously, they're not. But
I mean,
to them, they are though.
People in Money, Mississippi went to church every Sunday, like every Sunday, and we know they're not Christians. By the way, Ev, when I asked that question, it was kind of rhetorical. I appreciate you, though.
I'm not talking. Don't ask me to talk. I'm done. Hushy, hush.
You heard that, guys? I'm in trouble.
It's a realignment. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it's here is even sweeter.
Yo, he did remember, do you remember he went to Russia to do an interview with Putin? You didn't ever saw that? Yeah, Tucker Carlson. It's earlier this year. He went to Russia and did an interview with Putin, and it was a waste of a plane ticket. Honestly, they shouldn't even have round-tripped him. He probably should have stayed over there.
Their history and their culture and their customs really hates them to the point that it's trying to replace them. They know someone who actually has affection for them, and that's Donald Trump. And it's requited. It's requited. They know.
Oh, that's what
when
he
he
said.
goes to McDonald's and serves fries, like, he's not faking that.
Donald Trump said he served 29,000 people at that McDonald's that day.
And then McDonald's said that he was in.
That's why I'm not voting for him, because he lies over stupid shit. I had the most people at my inauguration. Like, bro, if you lie over the dumbest, most mundane things,
he's a pathological liar.
you lie about everything else. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I forgot.
You're ignoring the chat. POE cast.
Mm-hmm.
So women don't count because you were talking about women. I mean, transgender women in sports.
What? Transgender women in sports?
So women don't count?
No. I think it's an arguable issue. I don't think that it's an issue that should be brought up in a presidential election. It has nothing to do with the president. What it is, it's a dog whistle for people to be like, hey, we're conservative. This is what we be, and this is how those are. You've seen that political ads. Kamala, we are for us, and Kamala's is for they, them. Come the fuck on. Come on. No, I do not want a little baby girl wrestling a dude, especially a dude wearing a wig, pretending to be a girl or whatever. I mean, I know it's kind of harsh the way I'm saying and putting this like that, but no, I don't. I do not want that. I don't think most people want that, but it's a fringe issue and should have nothing to do with a political election. But when you're talking to the lowest common denominator, that's the shit that gets them energized. Like that conversation. You know what? Talking about these people pouring over the border is basically still, that isn't even exciting to these people. But when you say that these people poured over to the border and now they're eating your cats and eating your dogs, well, shit. Now we're talking. Half of these things that they're discussing and are points of their policy that they don't eat, well, they do have, but don't officially have, Project 2025, They don't have anything to do with the job of the president. They just don't. It's just shit to get you riled up. Get you upset. Get you mad. You know? They tell you everybody's lying. While they're lying to your face, everybody's lying. So guess what? You don't have any trust in these institutions.
The POE cast call in.
Of course. 313-825-5557. They're running on hate. They're running on fear. That's what they're running on.
I I mean, we're not dismissing the fact that it's not okay for transgender women to try to sneak into sports that women, physically women should be able to do just on their own.
Yeah.
Men obviously.
Like the swimmer, I thought that was like crazy. You went from the 400th male swimmer to like the top female swimmer. Like, come on, that's not fair. But you know what? I don't think that Donald Trump should have to step in and tell that school or that the sports governing body that, hey, you need to do this and do that, because they all have their. You might live near an Indian reservation where they got an all-female soccer team, and they don't. There's no other people to play. They want to play, so let them play the boys. Talking shit, getting clicks.
Hello.
Hola.
What's going on, most of the time?
Nothing much. Was good.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I was just saying, right? I was listening to everything you're saying, and again, I've said this a long time ago. Trump should have never been a president the first time. I knew this from the door. I didn't vote. I don't vote because I don't really believe in. I haven't came across nobody I would have voted for, except when Obama voted, I would have voted, but I was in jail and his vote got me out of jail. So shout out to Obama. But anyway, I watch politics from the way I'm watching politics is I understand who he is already. Do I think he's a great candidate to be a president? No. Did I think he was exciting and gave some type of entertainment to us? Definitely. I agree that he gave us entertainment. But overall, like, even I look at your 2020 list, he did a lot of that stuff. He did a lot of it. Most of it he did. Some things could be argued, but most of the shit he did. I don't knock none of it.
Oh, no, he did all
My
this.
thing was because I knew that already, I was focused on who is Kamala, excuse me. I knew this about him already. I knew he wasn't worthy to be a candidate to vote, but he made it there because people that disagree with me felt that he should be there for whatever reason, whether he's racist, whether he did the economy great, whatever it was. I just was like, dang, y'all put an entertainer. He ain't Reagan. He's not Reagan as an entertainer. He's a different type of guy. And y'all put him there. He got there. He went through whatever he went through. We ain't had too much of a bad situation except for when we had COVID. And the way he handled COVID, the things he said was stupid. But in hindsight, now we're looking at it and realizing that really COVID wasn't that big of a deal except to the elders. It really was about getting rid of our elders. So I don't know what the politics was, but I look at it as a whole nutshell. And I'll just watch. For me, it was just like, damn, you got rid of Joe Biden, and you didn't ask them, the American people that are arguing, fighting for her right now. Don't even remember that they didn't even get asked to elect her. It was, we're just going to throw her in there. And when people just started agreeing with that, not that she did anything wrong, but when the American people just agreed with it, I was confused.
That's a very great point.
Why are you focusing on Trump when you don't know who she is?
Can I respond to that point?
We know who he is.
Can I
He's
respond to that point?
He's a liar. We know he has connection with the biggest communist on the planet. Whether it's going to work or not, we don't know. But we know he has these things. We know that he's skeptical. He's not good. He's not good to be in the presidency because we don't know what he's about to do. But we don't know who they're trying to put in next behind him. And so I was just focused on that part. Like, well, who is she? Who is she?
That's
This
weird.
is why he's going to win, because we don't know who she is.
We're gonna see who's gonna win in a week.
I support Trump. I don't vote at all. Either one of them, I'm not voting.
Oh yeah,
I'm one of them. Like Dave said.
Well, to be clear, I'm not speaking particularly specifically to you. I'm not speaking specifically to or about you. I'm gonna mute you because you got some background noise. But I'm not speaking specifically to, but people who have those same thoughts. Like you just repeated a big right-wing talking point of the people didn't elect her. The people didn't elect her. She was on the ballot with Joe Biden. She's his vice president. If something happened to Joe Biden, which something did, she would become the president. Now, because he's alive, she's not president. She's vice president, and she's going to run in his stead for the next one. The Democrats didn't have any problem with it. Nancy Pelosi didn't have any part about it. People were invited to go ahead and put their runs in. She got there first, and that's what she did, and she ran for it. And there wasn't even a whole lot of time for candidates to go through a whole nother process. So the Democrats lucked out there, but honestly, I don't see that argument on the Democratic side. That was a half-a-day thing where they had a little internal fighting, and that has been basically quashed. She's the person. She went down to the DNC. She came up. She did her thing. She got her nominations. She's running for president right now. The fact that we're going to say that you're unmuted, by the way. Hopefully, there's no background. The fact that we're going to say that we don't know her as, I mean, she was vice president for the last 4 years. She was vice president.
Well, then,
and then
I mean, like I said,
also I don't. I heard other people say that.
I know you are. I know you like to research.
Right,
but
when I'm speaking for other people too,
even with Trump, they love Trump and don't research.
Right, and that's what I'm getting at. The average person,
Kamala, and don't research.
The average person, I don't think we're right. But I don't think like the average person on the DNC side of the park is even worried about it. She's campaigning. She's doing her interviews. She's doing her all her town halls and stuff like that. They're figuring out who she is. Her bio's been up. She's been vice president for damn near 4 years now, and she's been in the public eye even before that. So I don't think that's anything that's going on in the Democratic side. That is a question coming from the right wing, and it's a stupid question because they don't. And it's a stupid question because they don't want to get to know her. We are less than a week out. Most of the people have made their decision on what's going to go on.
So indeed. It's a swing state. It's the swing states.
Seven states.
The reality is only about the swing states.
7, 8 states.
It's not about the rest of the states that are already locked in. The swing states, 7 swing states. You got Georgia. You got Georgia. You got Pennsylvania. What's called the swing states? 7 swing states, whatever they are.
We got Georgia, Nevada, South Carolina, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio. That's 7. What's the? There's an 8th one. Nevada. Did I say Nevada already? Nevada. Arizona's in there. Nevada's in there. Toss ups. There's like 7 or 8. That's what it comes down to.
All right. So look. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right. So again. Because I'm 48 years old and I've lived long enough to that I didn't care about mad years of presidencies, and then I got old enough to start paying attention. Then I started paying attention and just looking at the game because I was the thing you see speaking about criminals, and I laugh because I get he's a criminal and what he was doing was criminal, but when you say it like that, what about the people like me? Because that's what the Democrats do, and that's just what the Republicans do. They speak broad about a whole people. And don't care about the individual concept of it. So even listening to you say,
go more into that because I'm not understanding
how it goes.
Right. But go more into that when you're talking about they speak to not the individual or to a broad base of people.
I'm speaking about that was just based on that comment that you just said. But my only thing was, again, I'm not saying Kamala isn't a better option against Trump. I'm not saying Trump is better than Kamala. What I've noticed was, and every week that I do, I always do they swing. This would happen. This would happen. I let everybody know, especially on mine, that I don't pay attention to Trump because I already know who he is. He's a fuckboy. Everything he's done is what he's done. And if it came down to if I actually had to vote, I would probably vote for him just because I don't know her. Because I've watched what she's been doing because I ain't been focused on him because I already know who he is. Because the problem is that so many people are focused on Trump and all the fuckery about him. Why are you? If you know if a duck, if it walks and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Why are you focused on a duck now? We need to focus on who the person is they're bringing in, because I need to know who that person is too.
He would also be coming back in as well.
That's my biggest thing is everything about her. I watched her wishy-wash, and it's not her fault as an individual because I understand politics. Whether she knew Joe Biden was incompetent years ago or he is competent now, that doesn't matter. The fact is that she's where she's at right now, and when it happened, I guess it's the Democratic Party, not the people of America, but the Democratic people that are in position said we're just gonna go ahead and put her there, and that threw a red flag up for me. Not that I don't think that she should be there because she was the vice president and that most people would have voted her there, but you didn't give us the option. You said that doesn't even count. Fuck all that. We're gonna put her there. And we're going to work her, and we're going to tell you that fuck him. We already know he's an asshole. But if the regular person that knows he's an asshole, that already knows it, that doesn't even fuck with him, they're going to be looking at who they're supposed to be representing. Some people don't care. As long as it's against Trump, they're running with it. There's nothing wrong with that person either. But I'm not that person. I'm the person that wants to know who she is too.
So ultimately, when they're running for president, they're running for they're going through these primaries so they can end up at their respective conventions, right?
What do you mean?
So you go through the political, you go through the campaign process, and you go through what they call primaries, like Iowa primary, where you test out your shit. You go from state to state, you speak to the local people there, and they do like a mini election for you within your convention. The Democrats go over there and they vote for all the
That's a
Democrats.
valid point. People do want to know who she is.
Right. You're catching up late. I'm talking to him right now. Yeah.
Really.
So, right. So that's what happens. Now, in primary, usually what happens is there's so many primaries going up into a long election season that some people aren't getting the results that they would like. They're running out of money, and they decide that they have to go out. You can lose each and every primary and still make it to the DNC or RNC. If you have enough money, if you got some followings, that can happen. So it's really not like the American people are voting for these candidates to either represent them up into the DNC. You go to the DNC and your respective parties are basically voting you in. All right? So it's really not like an American people process that we're going to vote to send these 8 guys up to see who we're going to pick. That's not how it works. Also, I would say in this case,
She wasn't majority.
yes, she was, because in 2020, she was put on the ballot with Joe Biden. In 2020, she was put on the ballot with Joe Biden. Damn near 80 million people voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Oh, what year are you talking about? 2020?
Yeah.
Or 24?
I'm talking about
I'm talking about 24.
In 2020, she was put on a ballot with Joe Biden.
Right, and after she fell apart in her first move, she fell out.
What first move?
So that doesn't matter because I don't want to knock her for that. I'm not
we can talk about that.
No,
we're talking about 2020 because she's been the vice president since 2020, right?
Right, that was the perfect elect for Joe Biden. We all know that.
She was voted as vice president with Joe Biden.
You don't even have to argue that.
I mean, I would because they have to pick a vice president or president. You're still voting for that vice president. People have specifically not voted for a candidate because of their vice president
kid. She was the best pick for a reason. I agree.
He picked her.
You're not agreeing. I'm saying that was smart to pick her.
Yeah, but you're saying that the American people didn't have a say in it, and I'm telling you, they've had a say in it.
No, I'm saying when the president picks his vice president, the president picks his vice president.
She goes on the ballot.
You had no choice of Walls.
Does she go on the ballot? Does she go? Is Walls on the ballot
as a vice president?
It's
yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's on the ballot.
What are you talking about?
That's your choice.
Okay. No. What I'm still saying is I'm not talking about the people, their movements, or nothing. I'm talking about the system and how it works. And we're going to argue about the system and how they're breaking the laws and the systems.
Right.
Some things ain't broken if you can figure it out.
Right.
It's not, you didn't break the law. If you figured out that they're fucking us and you figure out a way to fuck them back, it's cool.
Right.
We do that with our taxes and everything every year when people put their cars in or their kids. We do that. So we can't knock that part. When I'm going deeper.
I mean, I can.
I'm not going into the person or my feelings. I'm going to the politics of it all.
Right.
When she became the president, we don't need to go to 2020 because we're in 2024.
Oh, no, we don't.
We know why she became vice president.
Oh, yeah, because she
became vice president because he picked her. That's why she's vice president.
The American people voted for the American people voted for Joseph R. Biden and Kamala D. Harris in 2020.
Were they going to vote for Pence and Biden? Be for real, bro.
I am going to be, and I was going to give you an example. I was going to give you an example. In 2008, Barack Obama was running against John McCain. Are you listening to me? This is like down the road history. 2020, they were running in 2008. John McCain was up on Barack Obama. John McCain, when he picked, what's her name? The vice president elect from Alaska.
Oh yeah, the dumb bitch from Alaska.
Yeah.
From Alaska.
Yeah. A lot of people. A lot of people didn't vote for him specifically because of that pick. There you go. Sarah Palin. People decided.
I know my shit, so what you saying I agree with.
So
but I'm past that already.
Then you understand.
You taking me back to third grade when I'm in 10th.
No, but I'm just giving you an answer
concept.
for what you're saying.
I agree with you.
Like I'm just trying to give you like the simplest answer for what you're talking about.
All right. So
I mean, and then again, when we talk about the American people wanting to get to know her, I want to say that you can't talk from like a Democratic side, because I don't see any problem from the left about Kamala Harris, right? I see all of the criticisms coming from the right side. But what I'm listening to you. Check where I'm going at with this. All right. So so it's not just like Kamala Harris not getting voted. What was the other? What was the other thing you said? He said interrupted me, and I was going. You said
that was my major point was, if we're voting for a president, a president, like they had to go through everything for us to go with Joe Biden. Everybody had to fight like Kamala did in 2020 to be the president. She fought like everybody else. I'm giving everybody else their respect, like I gave her in 2016. So if everybody so if everybody fights for their position but they don't win it, and then they pick a vice president, he picked Kamala. He should have picked Kamala. That was the smartest move to make, because you needed to get the black vote for real, because we wasn't sure with Joe Biden.
No, that's not true.
He should have picked somebody else that was way more
Joe Biden just served as a buddy. Joe Biden served with Barack Obama buddy. He served with Barack Obama buddy for 8 years. I don't think he was needing the black vote.
But I'm talking about, you just said we're talking about Kamala Harris. Just because, again, then why did he pick her if she didn't even get elected? She didn't even stay long enough after the first debate. So what was the smart pick for her?
So then I would Google, like, why did Kamala Harris drop out of the 2020 race? And she ran out because she had issues with money. She didn't have any issues with supporters, but she had issues with money.
That's why she had issues with money. That's politics, bro.
She had issues with money.
Was supporting her.
And there was something else she had issues with.
He picked her.
Yeah, he picked her.
And I thought it was brilliant.
Right,
to pick her.
Because she had support.
I'm sorry. If you thought it was some real shit that was going on, that was political, that worked, that's cool. But I thought it was brilliant that they picked her.
What?
I thought it was brilliant.
If I thought it was political,
if you're fighting somebody
what
else,
did they pick her for? What reason did she pick her for? If it wasn't political,
that was perfect for her.
Okay.
But see again.
What do you think about the JD Vance pick?
As far as like when I'm listening to the commentary,
you said something else that I wanted to answer about her.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you said something else, and I was trying to, like, you were interrupting me. I was trying to say it, but then I forgot. You interrupted me, but you said something else. It wasn't just her. The American people didn't pick her. Oh, that's right. We wanted to get to know more about Kamala Harris, and I'm gonna say that's why I started. The left side, they either know her or they're gonna ride with her, right? So that criticism was coming from the right. The criticism was coming from the right.
Of course.
That we need to get to know. Yeah, the far right that we. That's even better. Yeah, but the only way that they wanted to get to know her was to say if she was black, talk about her Jewish husband, say that she's not black enough, and say that she is just caping and going. So it was there was no legitimate reason.
That thought was for the hillbillies, bro. That was for the hillbillies and niggas, the ones that don't know nothing but conversation.
They didn't want to
get intellect.
They didn't want you. I mean, you just said the far right. You said the far right.
The far right, the unintellectuals.
Yeah.
The far right, like the far left is unintellectual. They're both unintellectual. The far one.
Okay. I mean, but yeah, they didn't want to get to know her. They didn't want to go get to know her. The people that want to get to know her are getting to know her. The people that don't want to get to know her are, saying stuff about her race or saying that she hocked to it to get to the top, Just distasteful things.
I don't believe that.
Just distasteful things.
I don't believe that. I don't care about none of that.
But that's what they're saying, and I think it's off-putting to even their guys out there. So
I agree with you. That's what some people are saying. But when I do my podcast, for instance, that's not what I'm saying. I'm expressing to what the world is saying. But I always express that this is all fuckery. Because, again, the conversation here is we both agree that Donald Trump shouldn't be the president. But when I say, well, why Kamala should be the president, if it's just because he shouldn't be, then for the intellect is going, that's the only reason? Well, I agree.
What if that's a great reason, though?
But I know you're an intellectual. So because I know you're intellectual.
Yeah.
So when me and you both do the opposite things, right? We do the same. We do the opposite things. I talk about her. You talk about him, right? For instance, there's nothing wrong with that because we're both looking at the same picture. We're both independent. And me, I'm not even a voter. You got to flip my bird to make me vote for you because I know it's all the fuck system. But I still understand the system. So I don't denounce nobody who votes and I accept you and I'm happy for you. Other than that, they'll look at me sideways, but I don't know why. I'm not judging you. Don't judge me. I'm a human. But when it comes to the point that where the mindset is that I feel that he's better than her because I like him is where I'm like, no. Only reason I'm saying that he's going to win before her because we already had him for fucking 4 years. And yeah, he fucked up the economy, especially when the fucking COVID hit. But he wasn't him, it was COVID. But he did a lot of other shit in your 19 other things that he did in here. It's a fact. He's cool with Vladimir Putin. He calls the long government to shut down in history. He called black people and lives matter a symbol of hate. He did all of these things. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. But again, I'm telling you, I know he doesn't need to be president. I know that. But at least I know what he's going to do in the presidency.
No, you don't. No, you don't. First presidency is different. It's a way different case than the second presidency when you're out of there.
Why y'all study Trump? I know Trump an asshole. Why y'all still trying to figure out he's an asshole and let the world know he's an asshole? I already know that. So I'm not focused on Trump. I know he's an asshole. I know he don't deserve to be in none of this shit. I want to know who she is because she got put here, and every time she's spoken, she has adopted a lot of his policies, not everything. She has her own movements, her own weight, but she's adopted a lot of things, and I watched her morph, and then I watched her chase behind him. And see, to me, I'm going, you got put here. If he was if Joe Biden was elected, like everybody else had to go through it, and Joe Biden got picked, and then he wasn't forfeited, everybody else had the opportunity. It should have been a quick week where everybody gets to debate again, and the world has to pick for the Democrats, not the world, but the Democrats. Got to pick who they think is the best, and we do that because that's who we're supposed to be, especially if we're podcasting for them. And we're speaking on them. Give us that right. Don't take the right from me, and then I get upset when people start trying to explain why it's okay. Why is it okay? It's not the system. That's how it
What's
works.
okay? Explain what's okay.
It ain't how it works.
What are we explaining that's okay?
That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not with nothing. I'm not with either one.
What are we explaining that's
my name
okay?
Be clear, like
nobody's mentioned your name. You're not.
No, you didn't mention my name, but you mentioned everything about me. And when the podcast came on, I was your first text, bro.
That's great.
I was your first text. I said, yo, I was the first like, and I shared. When you ran down people's names, you didn't. And not because I think it's between me and you, but I think it's a politic thing, not the real life thing. But I'm like, damn, why? Because
I don't understand.
If Kamala Harris is something that you feel is best,
brother, I love you. I love you, and I plan to hang out with you after the election. I plan to hang out with you. There is nobody, but the things that you say on your podcast are the things that are said on other black podcast channels, and it's a lot of stuff that are said on. I mean, you could, or you could let me just finish what I was going to say. I would love to come on your show after this all is done, and then we can go for it. I would love to do that. I would really like to do that. The only reason why I mean, I didn't mention you by name, but you say a lot of the stuff on your podcast that a lot of these black right-wing guys that have switched from talking about black issues to talking about red pill, that they're now talking about politics, and they switched to Trump. And you echo a lot of these right-wing talking points. So really, I can be talking directly about you, or I can be talking about Antoine Daniels, I can be talking about Charleston White. I could be talking about DJ Academics. I could be talking about a lot of people because you guys are all saying the same, basically, stuff. You're saying the same stuff. So when I'm talking, I'm clearing up all of that noise. Like, all of it. Because I realize that this election isn't like previous elections. It's not like a Barack Obama versus a Mitt Romney or a George Bush versus Michael Dukakis. This shit is different. I've been looking at politics since I was born, basically. At least since the 90s. Like, as a kid, I was into this. So, like, me seeing how politics have evolved or devolved since that time, I am telling you that the last 3 presidential elections we had have been totally different than ever before, and not in a good way, not in a way that's moving us forward. It's in a way that's moving us back. So when I do see a lot of false information being spread, and I know a lot of people on that side like to flock to that information, I like to go ahead and fact check it. I like to get to the meat and the crust of the situation. I talk about Kamala Harris all the time. I did the 10 effed up things that Donald Trump did, along with a 10 effed up thing that Kamala Harris did. I mean, yeah, we've been talking about it. However, it seems that one specific side is like those meat ribs on the Flintstones. Donald Trump is going to flip the car. He's going to. This is my first, no, really not first. Last couple of shows, like I've come out and put the toe down. Like this is definitely where I stand, and this is the reason why I stand. The reason why I'm standing. So, like, that's where we are right now. I just see a lot of things. I see a lot of people who like to say that they're not into politics, but they seem to be, throwing this out here and throwing this information out here and asking questions that go with the right-wing talking points, questions that they don't care that are asked. They just want to put in some distrust. They just want to dismantle the system. Because once you lose trust in your government institutions, it's easy for somebody to come in here and put you in bondage.
Hey, why don't you call him? You have his number?
I don't have anybody's number in my phone. My Google got messed up. But I want to mute you. I was talking. Go for it.
Something? Hello? Am I here now? Hey, listen, so what I was going to say, I was going to ask you is everything that you said, I agree with. But the issue the thing that I'm trying to figure out is everything that you spoke about, and some things definitely on my podcast, I spoke about. And because I know you watch mine, I watch yours, this is what we're supposed to do. We are a crew. So but when we don't have the actual dialogue, like you always say, I always say call in, but nobody calls in. But my only issue is that I keep getting the feel that you think that I'm a Republican and a Trump supporter. And the reason I keep trying to say it again, that I said it to you, I said it in so many podcasts. The reason why I don't waste my time with Trump, because if I know a nigga is a gangster, he's a gangster. I don't need to watch about the new gangster shit he did. I want to know about who his opponent is. That's the person that I am. So the reason why I focus on Kamala Harris is because I already know who he is. I'm not trying to convince other people who he is. If you don't know who he is by now, then you just don't know. I don't believe I need to convince you. Some people help though. That's why you have AA, NA. People help people for that. That's what you do. I'm not knocking that. But I don't support him. I'm asking about who she is. Just because I question her doesn't mean I support him. That's the problem. I don't agree with if she's black, white, Indian, I'm not doing that research. Candace is, and I'm letting people know, like, yo, this is what's going on.
Candace isn't doing that research either. She's presenting
right. If you are looking
research
for me to tell you why you need to support Trump, you're not getting it from me. You're not getting it from me, except when I go, she do so much dumb shit. That's why I might vote for this nigga if I actually was going to vote. Like I would vote. But because of the there it is.
That's an endorsement. It could be like a little half-ass endorsement, but that's an endorsement. That's an endorsement.
If you feel like that, like everybody that might not feel that though. So if you feel that, I accept that. But you do know that people don't agree with everything you think and I think.
Obviously,
so there's somebody who agrees that he's not endorsing him. He's just letting you know, like, no, Ro's an asshole. If he had to vote, if he was going to vote, he know that he's not the one. But he knows who he is. I don't know who he is.
We're talking about logical.
And like,
he doesn't want to vote for him, but he's going to vote for him because he knows he's not the one.
I know you talk.
Yeah, that's why I just throw the information out here like that. Like specifically because like having conversations like this is why I just keep this rolling here. I keep it rolling here. I keep that rolling. I'm gonna keep this rolling here.
Well, man, talk the talk, man.
That's what I'm talking.
Whatever I just said was real. If I'm not agreeing with him or her, I just want to know who she is.
Right.
I know who he is already.
I'm just saying, you've been at this for how long? If we're gonna, like, you've been at this. When did I do the Kamala? I did the I did the Kamala, like the reply Kamala, like was that a month or two ago?
No, you have. I do more Kamala shit.
No, I'm asking.
Shit. That's
yeah,
a
right.
fact.
I'm
There's
asking.
nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
I do more Kamala shit and you do more Trump shit. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that
That's
at
not
all.
what I'm. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking.
You understand?
When I did the Kamala reply, I did that Kamala reply. Like it's been what, like 2 months now?
Yeah, about 2 months. And you did some more shit about Kamala.
That's 2 months. That's 2 months. That's 2 months of research that you could be doing to, figure out why you should vote for her or her or whatever. So then,
no.
so where do you find? So where do you find? So where do you? Where do you find? I mean, but yeah, but when you were talking and expressing yourself, you were talking like it hasn't been done yet. So since you've gotten there, like where do you stand? Who are you voting for?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. So if I'm saying I didn't say that, and I keep saying I didn't say that, then that's just you interpreting that, and you choose to refuse that. I'm saying that's not what I said.
Yeah, but interpretation or otherwise, I asked a question for clarity. I asked a question for clarity, right? I just asked a question to clarify.
What's your question for clarity?
My question for clarity was, have you done your research? Because you were saying like if I did, I don't. You were saying.
I'm answering the question. You're doing too much talking. I'm answering you.
Oh, so I'm doing too much talking on my show. This is what gets you dropped and gets you muted. This is what gets you dropped and gets you muted. Because you're not listening. You're talking.
You can, but you're asking me a question. I answer it, and you start over talking it. Just ask me the question, bro. I got you.
What question
I'm
asked
not
you?
arguing. I promise you, I don't want to argue. I want to have a great conversation.
Oh, but you want me to
debate.
have a conversation the way you want to have a conversation? Kind of amazing. You said you did. Listen to me. Listen, it's not a debate or anything, but I can tell you, you're not listening to me. I need you to listen to me. Just listen. Listen to me.
Look, I'm gonna mute my thing. I'm listening.
Beautiful.
You keep saying the same thing.
Now, I'm saying because I have to keep reminding you to listen because I'm asking you questions. Anyway, you said that, hey, I would vote for Trump, even though I know he's this and I know he's that. I'm still going to vote for him because I don't know Kamala Harris or Kamala. I gotta say it wrong. When I try not to say it wrong, whatever. Kamala. You said that you didn't know about Kamala, you know about Trump, and in a pinch, you know that you're going to vote for Trump. My question was, I did the reply to your Kamala isn't black thing like 2 months ago. And in those 2 months, have you researched Kamala? And if you have researched, what is going to be your final, what would be your vote?
What was I voting? What, is she black or not black? Is that what you're talking about?
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, POE Cast. Yes, he's always the best. I don't know. I just asked a straight up question, and then we got some other stuff there. But I wouldn't put it past them because that's on par with people who are like that. And kind of disingenuous. That was very, very disingenuous right there. I was waiting for Frankie D to call back because we want to talk about voting, and it's very important. And Frankie D, I will call. Hold on. You know what?
There you go.
I saw him call in the call-in line. Let me go and see if I can find these. Because he's in there. Usually he'll give me like a caller ID. I can hit him back. Frankie D's in there. He's got some good information. I got a lot of viewers in here that I know would like to hear this information, and I got a whole set up for you to say it. So if you got it, give me a call. Went a little long with POE Cast. If I knew he was gonna do his sucker MC me at the last question, I wouldn't even gone through these 10-15 minutes. Oh, live show. We love it. Hit like, share, subscribe. Let me know. All right, try to get Frankie back in here.
I'm waiting for him.
All right, cool. Let's kick it. This is what I'm going to do then. We're going to get Frankie D up in this house, and I am going to give you guys a little bit of techno. Stay with us, talking shit, getting clicks. We got some important voting information coming up. Please hang out with us. I appreciate you that you do. All right. We was waiting for Frankie D, but he's not on here yet. But hey, if any of you guys heard, another thing that came out of the convention in New York was the Tony Hinchcliffe remarks. He is a roast comedian, and he was up here. Oh, guess what I got? Guess what I got? I should have still had the techno playing. We're going to make an outbound call, guys. This is special because I don't usually do this. This can't be. It can't be 257. It's got to be a 267, right? Or we're going to be calling the wrong person.
That's what he gave me.
I think he gave you the wrong prefix. How's the show sound? Does it sound good? Do I sound good, guys? Here I am out here. It is. It's a camera.
Hello?
Frankie D is in his house. Hey, Frankie.
What up there, THPC? What's going on?
Nothing. You know what? I was calling because we are less than a week out from this national election, right? And I know you're not just an incredible musician, bass player, man about town like that. I know that you are also in the vote game, and I wanted to reach out to you so maybe you can help educate some people about these little voting laws and give us some cheat codes or some tips or something like that. You think you could do that for us?
Yeah, what you want to know?
I don't know. Tell me what I need to know. I haven't voted yet. Perhaps I don't want to wait in the long lines on next Tuesday. Is there any way I can get a quick mail-in ballot, or can I go down early to vote? Give us some of those hacks. By the way, if you're watching, I got your picture up here with a Frankie D Vote 2024.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the state of New Jersey, early voting started in October 26th.
It did.
It ends November 3rd.
Damn, you're good.
Yeah.
You are good.
So, I was talking to another fella from the Vineland area about this particular subject, about why it's important to take advantage of early voting, especially if you are not one who follows political issues in your community. Reason why I say that is because a lot of people don't know that early voting differs from the actual election day voting, which is the Tuesday, November the 5th.
Okay.
So in order to alleviate any mistakes on your part, maybe you're in on election day, you waited and you at the wrong precinct and you were standing in line for an hour when you found out you couldn't vote at that precinct because you thought that, you could vote anywhere. No, you can only vote at any precinct during early election. So this is why it's easier to take advantage of voting to avoid the lines in the crush. And they usually have more people during early election voting at precincts where most waiting times is down less than 2 minutes for people waiting in line to come in and vote. So it's so much easier and convenient to vote early. And I tell people take advantage of it because you don't want to get caught up in the last minute at the wrong place. And then you get up there and they tell you what your actual precinct is. And then you say, well, I can't vote now because I'm late for work or I got to go pick up the kids. See, I get upset with people like that because I say you had plenty of time to research what's going on, where I got to vote at way before Election Day. So in order to alleviate a whole lot of problems, they incorporated or instituted the idea of early voting so that if people do go to the wrong place or don't know where to go, they can vote anywhere at early election at any precinct. But on election day, you have to vote at your precinct where you're registered.
That's great info.
You still have time to early vote. And trust me, when you go, you'll see how convenient it is, especially if you know who you're voting for. So the idea that you're waiting for October surprise or something like that, November surprise, by waiting to the last minute thinking that your vote will count more, you're sadly mistaken. Your vote is always going to be counted once, whether you vote early, election day, mail-in ballot, or absentee ballot.
Amazing, amazing. So, all right, I know that each state has different ways they, elect their officials. Is there? I know in New Jersey we have in our county we have maybe 8 different voting places that we can vote early throughout the county, and then if we get to actual election day, we can't go to those. We have to actually go to our registered precinct to vote. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So that seems like that would be like a big issue.
That's why it's important for people to research where they can vote at if they decide to vote on the actual election day. So don't go to the precinct and say, "Oh man, I thought I could vote anywhere," because I'm saying nope. In the back of my mind, I'm saying, "Here we got another fucking idiot that's going to act like they didn't get the information when it was out there forever."
Exactly.
When people was tired of seeing all the political ads and all this, and people knocking on doors and political ads coming in the mailbox and with the actual dates and telling you where to vote and how everything, and then somebody act like they don't know where to vote on election day, I find that preposterous. I find that just unbelievable that with everything that's going on and the money spent on advertising and marketing for this election, that people don't know what's going on. But the rest of it is on the person.
Nice.
We have to take and do our part. Do your civic duty and get out there and vote.
All right, Frankie D, I want to hold you for a minute because I got a couple of different questions for you. I know this one's very important. Go ahead, finish what you were going to say, then I'll answer. Ask you a question.
Now, I said, if you're eligible to vote, then go ahead and get out there and vote.
Are there any like default websites you can go to check your registration, or is it like a state by state thing?
Well, in your state, it will be NewJersey.gov, and then when you go to NewJersey.gov website, and then you'll see voter registration, where you can check your voter registration, and it'll have your voter record on there, because it's all public. Once you start voting, it's public record. So that's where you find your information. Now you just go to NewJersey.gov, and then it might be a scroll down page where you open up where you'll see voting and registration and everything that's concerning your state.
That's amazing because I just tried it. I didn't try it with NewJersey.gov, but I was like, oh, let me try with any .gov. I'll type in Alabama.gov, and I'm going to say probably for most of these states, you can just type in a state name .gov, and it'll take you to the state page. And with a little search and a little scrolling down, like even in Alabama, I know if I go down to residents here, there's a link to register to vote, and you can go check that stuff out. Now, some of these states may not allow you to register. Registration might be closing some states, Frank?
Registration doesn't close. Well, yeah, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I think that we have passed the registration point because people are actually voting.
Okay. But still, like these state gov sites, you can still go on and check your registration and get all of your election information and where you need to vote.
You can still go and still register to vote.
That's beautiful. I mean, even before I go out to a restaurant, I go on the website and check the menu.
The election.
You guys should do that with voting. Check your menu.
Right online.
Beautiful. Some other questions. You were saying that you can do the mail-in voting and that they're sending a lot of, well, let's get back to, they're sending a lot of voting information in the mail. Now, I did hear of a story, maybe I think last election cycle, where people were sending like fake notices to have people go early vote or sending out ballots that were actually fake. Did you hear anything about any like skeevy stuff like that going on with voter registration this year or at any time during your working these polls?
No, because it's actually impossible to try to have a mail-in ballot and then go in, or early ballot and then try to go and actually vote. And actually what you're saying is basically trying to vote twice. Mm-hmm. No, because once you receive that ballot, that's an official ballot. It has a number on it that's precisely to the voter. and it's only valid after the voter signs their signature on that ballot and seals it up correctly with the date, because if the date is not next to it with their signature, then it's invalid.
The mail-in
so
ballot.
Everything would have to be filled out correctly.
Okay.
And that's how that whole process would work.
Awesome. Have you heard about what's going on in Pacific Northwest with the mail-in ballot boxes actually, being destroyed, being caught on fire, and little bombs being placed in those boxes?
Yeah, it's a federal offense to destroy those are official polling places, and the person who did it, left behind key evidence who they were.
Yeah.
And it was some protesters against, I guess the Palestinians and the Israeli conflict, but they recovered most of the information. They said about 500 ballots were destroyed. So I see that they already have in place any number of people whose ballots that haven't been received is going to probably receive a new ballot, and the voter deadline to receive them will be extended, because it's just like if a poll doesn't open up on time, and it's supposed to open up at 7, and they had some technical issues that they couldn't open until 8, then that poll still has to stay open an extra hour, to ensure that everyone had enough time to vote.
Right. Now,
so that's what they're going to do with that. They're going to send all out new ballots, the ones that they can't salvage, and then they're going to have those people send it in and re-vote again, and they'll just have to wait to get the total results until they receive all those ballots.
Now, that's good information, because when I was looking at this, I was like, man, they destroyed thousands of ballots here, and they're and just like you said, they were able to recover some, but then there are still like 500 people that are disenfranchised. So it's awesome that they did come up with a way for those people's votes to actually be cast. So they're working with them like that. And the cool thing I did learn about this is that they have like fire sprinklers in these boxes. They have fire suppression systems in these ballot boxes, because
Exactly. So those things worked, and that's why they were able to track down some identifying information on the incendiary devices that they were placed in there, and that had information about the free Palestine or something concerning that conflict.
Right. And I got the picture up right here. They're showing his car, showing him drop up to the ballot box here. I'm pretty sure they have plate information. We'll probably be getting some more information about the buddy. But this is another as the voting lines. All right, say a polling place closes at 8.
Let me add this to the format.
Okay.
Is a situation was asking me about, can felons vote? Can a person who has a felony vote? Okay? A person who was a felon who served their time and their felony has been expunged from their record, then they can vote, because there's no information that's going to come across the screen when you go to vote, when you give them your ID. Now, if you were a felon and it wasn't expunged from your record, but that felony is not valid and that you are able to vote, then you will sign an affidavit on that screen stating that you see that this says you have a possible felony, and that you're stating that you are eligible to vote. And that if you do sign this and you can't, you perjure yourself, and that's another felony, and you're going to go to jail.
Right.
So that answers the questions about felons. Felons can vote.
That's great. That was on the list to be. My list is for people like me who are always running late. Now, if the polling place closes at 8, does that mean I got to be in the building and have my vote casted by 8, or does that mean I have to be in line to cast my vote by 8?
You have to be in line at 7:59. You have to be that person, because the poll worker is going to stand behind that person at 8 o'clock. The polls is closed. So anybody in front of that, in that line, up until 8 o'clock already, anybody after 8, no.
Awesome. So guys, be there on time. Be there at least a minute earlier before the polls close. I would say be there when the sun is still up. That's probably the best way to go about that. Frank, you got anything to add about the voting information? I know that we're about to go get our early vote on in maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow.
Oh man, that's cool. I just encourage people to not, go for the politics of the situations with all the rhetoric and all the misinformation, all the lies, everything that's out there is being said. To vote your conscience that you think that's going to be the best way that's going to help, not you personally, because people think the president will help them personally, how it's going to help everyone in America. I just tell people to vote their conscience. Whoever you vote for, make sure in your conscience you did the right thing. Other than that, be on time, have your ID. Make sure you have a valid ID. Now, in every state, you can have your passport. You can have a college state ID. You can have a high school valid ID. You can have a government ID, a military ID. You can have a federal ID or state ID. You can have an electric bill with your address on it. You can have you can bring your birth certificate, even if you have your registration card when you registered, and you have something to prove your address on that registration card. You can vote. So those are some valid IDs that you can have. You can't use a credit card. You can't use some ID that you bought at the Five and Dime with your picture on it. Those won't work. They have to be an official, federal, or state ID.
Amazing. All right. So I have to ask, what is the biggest issues that you see when you're at the polling joint with voters?
What is that they at the wrong place, and then they get upset because they was waiting in line and they had other things to do because they thought that they could just run in and run out when they seen that it was nobody in the precinct where they came to vote. But they didn't realize that early voting ended that prior Friday, and today is Monday. So now you're in the wrong place. So people's procrastination and not doing the research before they come to find out where they vote.
Insane.
And the easiest way to do it, if you don't want to look at this, Google it with your voice. Say, where's my polling place near me? And it'll tell you. They ask you for your name, your last name, and your information pops right up. They made your information so easy to access, and easy for people to vote, to avoid confusion. And people, don't worry about the numbers because you cannot cheat. So when you hear somebody saying the numbers weren't right, it's impossible because we check the numbers every 2 hours with every piece of equipment that's sequenced together in the voting process that all add up together. We do it manually and we do it with the machine. So we always counting. And this is public information that at every polling site, you have posted on the door, outside the door, where you can see every 2 hours how many people actually voted. So as a citizen, you can sit in a polling place and observe the people who are actually working the polls if you wanted to see how it worked, because it's a public place. You can't interfere with people voting, but there's an area set up for people to view, just like if you was going to court and you just wanted to watch and be in the stands. So that information is out there. Just go to a polling place, look on the door, and you'll see. It's going to tell you how many Democrats voted, how many Republicans voted, and how many independents voted. And it's totaled every 2 hours. So you know exactly what's going on in your community if you were one of those people who wanted to be out there and wanted to know.
Oh, this is great. This is good, great, vital information. I know I'm definitely going to clip this and make it its own thing specifically. I had a shower thought that maybe you can help out with this. All right. So you've been just talking about how much easier voting has been made for, the citizens. Do you ever think that same app that you could use for your phone to find your voting place is the same app that you could use to actually cast your vote? Do you think that's possible?
No, because just like you can't use a digital ID to vote on your phone, you have to have an actual physical form of ID, to do that. It's the same thing. You have to be, physically there. That's why that wouldn't work.
I was trying, people. I'm trying for us. Oh, another thing. Which state do you work the polls at?
Well, the polls I work here is in Clayton County. At my polling place, I work at the municipal building, and it has the courthouse, in the same building where we vote at. And I actually work in the town of Morrow. Morrow is a city in Clayton County. I live in Rex, but Morrow is my neighbor. So I help out in the city of Morrow as an assistant manager to our managers, 2 assistant managers and the managers, and 12 poll workers.
So that's Georgia.
That's it. Every state is different. So in Georgia here, for our general election, each is going to be 12 poll workers, two assistant managers, and a manager at each polling place.
Very nice.
Well, and for security, security reasons this year, there's going to be a police officer stationed at every polling station.
That's beautiful that you said that, because I think a lot of there's one side of the electorate that likes to say that voting isn't safe. It can be fake. They can stuff ballots and stuff like that. And you're talking about how safe and secure and accurate that the voting is. And I bring up the fact that you're in Georgia because there was a whole slew of mess when it came to Georgia and votes this last time out with the former President Trump. Seemingly begging for 11,000 extra votes?
14,000.
14,000? Damn, everyone. What do you think about that?
He tried to get those votes. And just to show you how secure Georgia's elections were, because I worked that election too, and it's impossible to stuff a ballot because poll workers don't touch the ballots at all. They go into a bin inside the machine. We collect the bin at the end of the night, and it's secured with a safety clip, with a serial number, that once that band is breached, then we know somebody put their hands in there. Other than that, no one touches the ballots. We don't touch the ballot at all. There's no such thing as ballot stuffing. This is why Giuliani got to pay those women his whole life, because of misinformation he put out there. The fact that they had a recount in Georgia 3 times where they hand counted each vote 3 times because of lies about the election being illegals voting, and that turned out to be not true. And so at this point, with Giuliani out there spewing these lies against these 2 women whose lives was threatened because of them just serving their community, now you see why these kind of things just don't happen. They can't happen. The election was free and fair. It's just that Donald Trump and his minions refuse to accept the reality of it.
So man, that's amazing. We're glad to have somebody like you out there in a contentious state such as Georgia, making sure that we have free and fair elections. You are on the front lines. Is there availabilities for people to still come out there and help you or volunteer at these polls? Oh, well, another question.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In every state, in every polling place, you're going to see, especially on social media, where they're asking for volunteers, to help canvass and just, knock on doors and, talk to the people who haven't voted. Because like I said, once you voted, it's public records. But if you're registered and you haven't voted, you'll probably see some of these people working for the candidates out there knocking on doors, encouraging people to vote. So, it's all kind of ways people can help. Some people you can donate $5 to her fund, to Kamala Harris fund, and I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I heard the rhetoric from your last guest when you was talking conspiracy theories about voting and what he knows about politics. I have no comment on that because a lot of it was just point of view stuff, and one person's point of view, so that it wasn't worth an argument. But I can tell you for sure that every vote counts. If every vote didn't count, they wouldn't try to suppress so many votes, people's votes, and making it harder for them to vote. And our ancestors who stood in line and died for us to have the right to vote, whether you think the system works for us or not, this is the best system in the world compared to anybody else. Because if you're not happy with it, this is America, damn it, love it or leave it. You know how that saying goes. It's not a perfect system, but it's our system, and that's what we got.
Right.
You know?
Ladies and gentlemen, applause, children singing, air horn for Frankie D, GOAT poll worker.
Thanks for having me, guys,
Georgia.
man.
Thanks
Keep up
for coming
the good
out.
work. And you know, if anything I can do in the future before this election, hey, hopefully we won't have any runoffs. Because that'd really be something
amazing. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time and your knowledge. Frankie D once again, everybody. Top notch. Top notch. I think I see another caller in here, you know. He's been sitting there a while, so I might have to goose him up. Talking shit, getting clicks, Mo 3 times. You've been waiting on the line for a minute, sir. What's going on?
Yeah, I was listening to the information about voting, but I was trying to catch you before you let Frank off the line. I had a couple of questions. If he's still listening, or if you can answer this, I want to make sure that I'm not giving out false information. From talking to a lot of people, young people, and actually speaking to young black men, the ones that said that they're not interested in voting, that they don't believe in voting, don't believe in the government, don't believe their votes count, and things like that, that they say that they won't vote. But my question is, besides the president and the vice president for the United States to vote for, if you decide that you don't want to vote for either candidate, what I'd be trying to share, if I'm correct, that all the other selections of offices that's also on the ballot that actually concern our personal states, cities, and internal government, such as senators, House representatives, county clerk, board of education, mayor, city council, et cetera, et cetera. Now, my concern is, if you don't care for voting for the president that's selected, do you still have the right and power to vote for all the other offices that's also running during the presidency? Because what I've been trying to share, if I'm correct, whether you care to vote for a president or not, when you decide not to vote at all, you also hurting your own cities and states when it comes to electors that is running. So when you have those problems with your schools or your city and things like that, I'm saying, if you're not also voting for them, if you're not going to vote for the president, then those same effects that you feel about the president, whether it becomes Republican or Democrat or MAGA, then you also allowing that opening for what you don't care for the government is what can cause a effect in your own neighborhood. So I just wanted to know if Frank could correct me on that. If you know. Hello?
Hello? Frank is off the line. I can call him back. But all right, so in a nutshell, your question again is if you can, like, if you go to vote for president and there are people, like local people also on that ballot, is it possible to just vote for them and not for the president?
Yes, that's the simple question that I'm asking.
I would say
want
that
to make sure I'm not staring anybody wrong as far as still trying to get them.
This is something I do know. Like, you can go into that ballot and you can skip over president and not vote for president. I would be careful if you're voting electronically, because sometimes they do have like little buttons on the side, like a no vote button, and then sometimes they have a little extra like space where you can write in a candidate, so you can just write in yourself or whoever, you know. We talked about that in previous shows. Yeah. So yeah, you can go in there and vote for or not vote for anybody on the, you know, as long as you go and close that curtain, you can go ahead and get it done. Yeah. I see Mainline in here.
I think that's what affecting a lot of young people now, that they don't understand just because they don't care about the government and the president of the United States.
I mean,
they still have power of control of who's going to run their states and your governors, your cities, your mayors, your schools, your councils, et cetera.
Yeah. You named everybody that works in the state, Pops. I love it. Yo, but you know what? I think you make a great point, because you know, like, younger people, well, they don't care. They're not thinking about that stuff, you know. But it's something that I think the younger people should like take note of. It's just good to have a good, nice political hygiene, if you will, to go in there and understand that you do have a civic responsibility and duty to go and cast your vote, even if you don't like those candidates that are on that line. You usually have an opportunity to write in. There's always a write-in section, so you can still cast your vote, even if it's just. I mean, and there's so many reasons to vote, and I think that's something that we've been talking about. Like, you can vote for somebody, you can vote against somebody. And I think a lot of times we just stay in that one box of, oh, this is who we're voting for, this is who we support, so we're voting for. And I think it's a little bit harder to understand if somebody's voting just against somebody. Like, I'm not going to lie, I'm voting for Kamala Harris this year. I think she's competent. I think she can do the job. I think she has a good team behind her, competent people that care about Americans. I do get that sense. But honestly, I'm also voting for her to not vote for Donald Trump. And me personally, I don't want to vote for a third-party candidate, because we are in a two-party system overall. And and in this specific election, you're voting for one or the other. No matter how if you write somebody in, you're still going to be voting for either Kamala or Trump. So, I mean, just like Frankie D said, like, it's just an easy thing. Prepare yourself. Take a couple minutes. You can go to each candidate's site. It's not hard. Google their names, and they usually have a website. And when I say usually, they always have a website. It'll tell you things that they're working on, their policies, their platforms, other politicians that they've worked with. You know, all that good stuff. Just do a little bit of research. Find your place that you're going to vote at. Figure out the times. Figure out if it's long lines there. Like, we have to start getting involved and talking to each other. One thing that we have here, and I'm pretty sure they have it. I know they have one in Vineland. They probably have one for every town. Is like every town has like a little website page. I mean, like a Facebook page that you go on and talks about everything that's going on, like literally like a block or two away from you. So as a community, you kind of want to get into, groups like that, just to get that information. But like I said, until we can really get a federal app that you got to put in, your social and a couple different identifications, and they lock it down on your phone and you can vote, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, I think even if we had an app, people will still vote. But that's the thing I would work towards, getting hey, I can go online and cast my vote real quick, and it is what it is.
Electronic. Probably get into in the future anyway.
Yeah, if not, I'll just send my Elon drill.
Thank Frank for his information.
Right.
And one thing I do wait for, and that's, as he said, in New Jersey, you could start voting at on the 26th for early vote.
Yes, sir.
And here's the funny part that I was sharing when I talk about New Jersey. My sample ballot come in until yesterday.
That's insane.
That's what I do when I get my sample ballot. And besides the president, after I make my decision, and I will be voting for Harris and Walsh also. And I'll still to this day consider myself an independent, not a Republican, a Democrat. It's just that seems like mostly when it comes to me. And I ain't saying that most of the things in the policy that fits me and I agree with is on the Democratic side. But what I do, I also wait for my sample ballot to come in, because a lot of times everybody be fussing over the president of the United States. But like I said, when it comes to your state and your government and your cities and town, it's really, to me, is the ones that comes up on the ballot, because they hardly get promotions and commercials and all that. Those are the ones that I say that you need to really
pay attention to. Your local
get your research
guys,
on your choices.
Pops, it's amazing that you said that.
That's all I wanted to share.
I was going to say it's amazing that you said that, because when I was walking the dog, when I was walking Django earlier today, I was telling this earlier, I was going through the neighborhood, and a lot of the houses that had, Trump banners on them just had specific Trump banners. And then I could tell the Democratic houses, because they didn't have a Harris Wall sign on there. They just had the local Democratic people that are running for office this time out. And you could tell, like, all right, they're going to vote down the line, and these people are going to vote down the line, but these people actually know their local politicians, whereas these people are voting down the line because they're going to vote Trump, and then they're just going to go straight down the line. They don't know anything about their local politicians. So yeah, I think that's a.
You said I'll make. I will cross the line if it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
In my city, especially my city, when it comes to council and board of education and stuff like that. Some of the things that are going on, because I know right now most of the conversation I hear when it comes to the Democrat and Trump, the main thing that they're against a Democrat because they support the LGBTQ.
That's definitely in the top three of what I hear all the time.
They bring their religious values in it. When I said like this, God said all y'all sinners. So be the first one to throw the stone. And like I said, I said something to a brother. He started laughing. I said, I'd rather have to deal with, or even to the point, if I had to fight a gay person. I said, if it came to this in the world, I said, I can deal and be civil with the LGBTQ. I said, but I don't know.
Hold on,
if I can
sir. I got 2 years to listen. Did you say that you could be? No. We're not going to gloss over this. Did you just say you could be filled with the LGBTQ? That's all I'm asking.
Excuse me?
Did you say you could be filled with the LGBTQ?
Be who?
Did you say that you could be filled with the LGBTQ? Filled. F-I-L-L-E-D.
No.
Okay.
Deal. I can deal with now. I dealt with that party all my life. It's been here even before they start talking about gay marriage and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I said on that line, that's not going to affect me personally. But when it comes to a man trying to become a dictator of the country, now that's a different battle. That's what I'm saying. So when it comes
if
to
you want to be a woman with a dick, cool.
like
But if
you
you want to be a
said,
man
even
who's a
on that
dictator,
choice, I stick with that.
no dictators.
No what?
Just chicks with dicks. I said that. What time is it? I'm 2 minutes. I am 2 minutes until we've done a special 2.5 hour show, straight up and down. I've been trying to keep this thing to an hour, but honestly, I hope everybody comes back to rewatch because I feel like I've only been in here for like 30 minutes. Seriously, it's gone by so fast, and it's been such a good time.
It was a good. It was a good show tonight.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed the comment and the debate between you and POE, because what that represents today is again, we do need to hear in the representation of this generation and how they thinking and how they feeling and that outlook on things. So
I don't debate POE. I don't debate POE. But after all this is over and whatever's happened has happened, I would love to go over there and sit down on that show and mix it up with those guys because I like watching them. They're entertaining. You know, pour up, roll up with them.
I'd like to just come down and hang out, but we'll be down your way Friday. So if you're free and love, let's hang out.
All right.
You still have a Friday.
Sounds good to me. We're hanging out.
Hold you up.
Bring some Modelo's.
Enjoy this stuff.
Peace. I can't believe I still have it on. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Flashback.
What's up, people? Here we are back in the talking shit, getting clipped.
Yeah. You already know. And if you heard that, then you should know when you hear this. It's time. All right, we did it tonight. Obviously, we did 2.5 hours and we still didn't finish the entire show, so I'm going to start next time where we left off. So we talked about the MAGA speeches. We talked about exploding ballot boxes. We had the incomparable Frankie D come up in here and share all of his voting secrets with us. And I hope for you guys take it to heart. Be safe out there. Have a safe voting experience. Come back next week. Call 313-825-5557 and let me know how it went down. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know who I be, but I am Mo 3 times, and I'm out. See you next time. Oh, yeah. Hit like, share, subscribe, and the alarms, because I be popping up on this thing whenever I feel like it.